a real concern, and it's not only a Trinidad and Tobago issue, it's one that many countries across the world dealing with at this point in time. But what we do in Trinidad is that we always put our unique touch and twist on even the toughest of subjects, and that is why via the Caribbean contemporary dance and using the platform and using the talent of those who are in the Trinity Dance Theatre, who comprise that particular organization. They're coming together with the Counter Trafficking Unit to bring a production to Queen's Hall to touch on this said issue. To give us more details this morning, I welcome the Counter Trafficking Unit Deputy Director, Dane Marie Marshall. She's here with me. Great to see you.
Good morning. Good morning. Great to see you too.
Good morning. And from the Trinity Dance Theatre, Director and Choreographer, Terry Springer. Terry, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Probably great to have you, Terry, and of course, Dean. This is so unique where you're having such a serious issue now being presented, and you're going to curate a story via dance, via theater, via that experience at Queen's Hall. Whose idea?
Definitely it would be Trinity Dance Theatre.
Well, this idea was birthed in just before the pandemic. We had this project, and it was interrupted by the pandemic. But it's really due to the artistic director, Mr. Alan Balfour, his close encounters with, let's say, survivors of human trafficking, where through his church, they would help in terms of clothing and entertainment and also lodging. And he also had to chaperone some of these victims. So he came up with the idea. And then I jumped to that idea because, Trinity Dance Theatre, it's all about entertainment, but at the same time, we like to give a positive message or a message about some social ill. And human trafficking in Trinidad and Tobago is, in any way, all around the world, is a social ill. So at the same time, entertaining, but giving that we hope would be positive message.
To me, that's a great form of entertainment where you're able to, yes, entertain, but leave the audience member with some sense of enlightenment, a takeaway, as it were. You leave them leaving that Queen's Hall saying, okay, obviously, fantastic idea. The support, obviously, they would have come to you all for that support, and you all logged on immediately.
Definitely. Part of the mandate of the Counter Trafficking Unit is public awareness. And we recognize that public awareness must come from different forms. And in a culturally diverse nation as we have, dance was just a magnificent way of really bringing that through. The Counter Trafficking Unit is moving in a direction where we understand and realize the arts really would form part of what would be our vehicle to transport that message in relation to what are the ills, what are the signs, and how can you not be a victim of trafficking.
Yeah. What's the duration of the show? Because I know it kicks off tomorrow, and well, it's Saturday and Sunday at Queen's Hall.
Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow, Saturday at 7 o'clock and Sunday at 6:30 at Queen's Hall. It's an hour and a half dancing. So with intermission, let's say an hour and 45 minutes. That's the duration of the show.
Fantastic. Basically. I want to take it now to the real hard issue that is human trafficking. Dean Marie, could you tell me what's happening with the stats and what measures are in place to counter this darkness that exists? There's still people who doubt it, Believe you me, when we have conversations, sometimes people, they don't even understand really and truly what human trafficking is. So if you could probably break it down for us and give us some stats and explain to us what is being done.
I think it might be important to mention that the Counter Trafficking Unit changed directorate in January 2024. And we are now led by Mr. Alan Miguel, our director. And of course, I'm supporting him as his deputy director. Our unit is comprised of police officers, immigration officers, and defense force officers, and that really and truly tells you that the government of Trinidad and Tobago really and truly is at a position where we are ready to fight this ailment that is trafficking in persons. It is no secret. Our neighbors, Venezuela, went through and have been going through some political issues, which would cause a significant vulnerability of their people. And with that is one of the focal points in relation to how you would really attract a trafficking situation. We have seen the movement of Venezuelan nationals and other migrants within the confines of Trinidad and Tobago within the recent past. And with that, we have recognized that trafficking in persons has become one of the issues Trinidad and Tobago has to deal with extensively. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, through the Counter Trafficking Unit, has been partnering with international agencies. And as we stand here, we are really depleting and trying to diminish the status quo in relation to trafficking in persons. And we believe via public awareness and initiatives just as this, we'll be able to reach the wider scope in relation to what are the real signs.
If someone's passport is being held against their will?
That has since changed. That concept has since changed. We are seeing where persons are saying that they are in full control of their identity documents. But once a trafficker has a particular amount of fear within you.
Oh, it's a fear factor.
You can be in prison in an open space. Once there's a significant fear factor, you can be imprisoned in an open space.
That person takes almost like a particular stance of ownership on this human being.
Definitely. So when we say it's modern day slavery, we mean it like that. It is. You are required to work, do whatever it is required by you, be it labor, be it sexual, right? And it would be for the trafficker to own you in that particular way. So you really and truly don't have any significance in relation to that.
And I would imagine, Terry, as we wrap things up, based on that unfortunate reality, this particular piece, the dance, I would imagine, will represent, it will have some lows and probably some highs. It's going to be an emotional experience.
Come prepared.
Yeah.
Walk with your napkins and stuff like this.
Yeah, come thinking it will have some emotional levels.
Yeah, because it's not the entire show. Because as I said before, we are here to entertain and also, deal with public ailments or issues.
Awareness, yeah.
So it's kind of like to synthesize the general public, specifically and basically our teenagers, our young people, because they are like the most vulnerable in this aspect. Okay, so when we have young girls and even boys go missing, where do they end up? So it's not only migrants, but every teenager is vulnerable because it's very vivid and rampant here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. So one of the pieces of the show is called Silenced, choreographed by Mr. Balfour and myself. And this one is based on human trafficking. But the show in general, the name is Alpha, which is the first. You want to be the first, and you work towards being the first. But sometimes you have to realize that God is the first. Indeed.
Well, you're seeing it there on screen. It's happening tomorrow and Sunday at Queen's Hall. I want to thank you, Terry, and of course, Dean Marie, for coming on this morning. Thanks you so much, Dean Marie. I'm sure probably somewhere down the road, let's get a chance to touch base some more.
Definitely, because as we move into World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, we'd want to come and sit with you and the nation and explain to you exactly what the Counter Trafficking Unit has in store.
Look forward. With that being said, we'll take a pause and we come back with more. Of course, tickets at the box office.